Well, hello, we are live. Welcome to your Divine Feminine Temple Time. This is going to be a juicy live. And if you're listening on replay, fabulous to meet you as well. I'm Dr. Amanda Noel, and I help women manifest their man and their money from their most sacred feminine space. Historically, we women have been working either in feminine roles, the domestic roles. Women for so long have been considered second-class citizens in the United States of America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Women have only been able to vote for the last not even 100 years. In 2 more years, it will be 100 years. So how does a woman who is on a twin flame path, who is here to align her sacred feminine energy with her sacred masculine energy, how is she able to create a career and live a life that aligns with these very polar aspects of herself in a world where it's a man's world, where we have had to rely on the men to make money for us for so long. And now we've risen to power. So we post, the feminist revolution, we can make money on our own, yet it's in a way that is often very masculine, very in our head. So here's the secret answer: to do this the divine feminine way, and doing blissness, as I call it, business your feminine way, or being on your soul purpose and leading from your heart / womb space, what I call either the sacred chalice, or even a term that really triggers a lot of people, your pussy power. And yes, the etymology of the word pussy goes back to ancient Egypt. Many, many years ago, the cat spirit guide of the Divine Mother, her name was Pasht, or Basset, or Bast. And this cat spirit guide, the kitty cat pussy, later became her name from the old word Basset, or past. So anyways, you have a spirit guide, just like Mother Creator Goddess, known as Isis, had her cat spirit guide. We have our feminine energy that creates life. So let's go ahead and rub our hands together. So this video is for you. And place your hands on your womb. This video is for you if you are a female who has burnt out doing it the masculine way, or the masculine way has not worked for you. Maybe you have entered into a top tier masculine world. You have a job that makes you lots of money, but you're burnt out, your adrenals are shot, or you have gone to a university and done well, and then realize that your soul has its life sucked out of it and you can't do this anymore. Or maybe you're the type of women that just never really was cut out of that type of cloth. The masculine never worked for you, partially because maybe your masculine was not developed. It was underdeveloped because, say, your patriarchal older brother or father said, "You're dumb, you're stupid." Maybe they didn't say it verbally, but they were kind of like, "Oh, little girl, that's not how you do it. You have to do it. I'll do it for you." And this is a very common thing where we have these different archetypes of women. Oftentimes we have these high-powered high priestesses who can make money the masculine way and who are good at controlling everything, and yet she can't meet her man because men aren't attracted to a woman in her full masculine. Men are actually more attracted to the feminine energy that can really receive and respond and nourish. So we have a lot of times these alpha female type of women who can replicate the masculine energy, but they can't reciprocate the masculine energy. They can't receive it and then give back the feminine that the men are wanting. And then on the other hand, we'll have these kind of hippie chicks, these women that were often, I call them hippie chicks, but women healers who actually are very disconnected from their masculine energy, women who are not in their power. They're not earning what they're worth. They don't feel self-worthy to earn money. They don't feel self-worthy to really date men who honor them in their power, both their feminine and masculine. And whether you are on the high-end high priestess level or the hippie chick healer level, we have this job to kind of balance and be in that feminine masculine energy. So the topic today that I really want to drive home is that there is a way of doing your soul purpose, finding your soul purpose the feminine way, and launching taking action in your soul purpose-based blissness or your soul purpose-based path, whatever that might be. So the first key here is to really nourish your feminine energy. And I know that sounds really simple, really easy. What does it mean? You may be asking, but to be really upfront, there are very few women who are in their power, who are women that are, doing big things in the world, who really do a good job at nourishing their feminine energy. A lot of the women doing big things in the world are often coming from a place of lack, of not being good enough, being afraid that they'll be rejected and abandoned. Oh, I'm not successful enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough grades, or I'm not making enough sales in my job. And so there's this kind of like chasing energy of successful women. A lot of women that have 6 or 7 figure businesses, whether in the industry of business or coaching or healing, shamanism, writing, these new paradigm leaders, even a lot of times will be coming from this old wound. And at Aphrodite University, we look at especially the 3rd chakra, at the wounds of the divine father, the divine masculine wounds that oftentimes come from your relationship with your father, who maybe either didn't feel good enough, projected that onto you, or some women just didn't have fathers in their lives, and their masculine energy was either too passive or just wasn't even there at all. So a lot of times, in order for a woman to feel worthy, she'll have to do this deeper healing work. So wanted to bring that up. A couple of deep breaths in here. We're covering a lot. So the divine feminine way of being on your soul purpose, launching your soul purpose, it's to commit with that masculine fatherly energy to your feminine magic. So what we need is a balance of feminine and masculine, taking action, being protective, being fierce, being a warrior, and a nice balance of the feminine energy with that, of self-caring, being in pleasure, connecting to our sensuality, honoring our feminine bodies, honoring our bodies, period. So things like drinking enough water, things like spending time meditating, maybe with crystals, spending time feng shuiing your home so it feels really good. Yesterday, all day, I spent feng shuiing our home, clearing out all this old stuff. This is part of your finding your soul purpose path, the feminine way. It's really creating a high vibrational energy that feels really good, really nourishing. So many masculine women will maybe have a home that looks really pretty. They'll have a housekeeper clean everything up, or they'll do it themselves, but it doesn't actually feel good. So one of the aspects of the feminine is really caring for the senses, nourishing. And the wound of the feminine, one of the biggest lies and tricks that the feminine has gone through, is forgetting herself in this path, caring for others, making things beautiful for others, having the perfect house and the perfect happy kids, and then we're not happy. And of course, there's no way we can actually have happy children if we're not happy. So it was a myth. It was the martyr syndrome. And as we rise as twin flame women, we actually need to come from our own bliss, our own pleasure. So that is the first step, is committing to that, claiming it. And a course that I'm teaching right now is actually starting tomorrow. We've already done one of the coaching calls, but if you missed that, that's totally fine. It's not too late. We're going to be doing Twin Flame Self-Love Bootcamp Module 1 tomorrow. And I will link the link, aphroditeuniversity.org/bootcamp. If you are like, shit, I should have signed up. I really need to join this. I need to work on my self-love. And when we take action, that is when the magic happens. So many women, especially, I want to kind of call out the new age types, the mystical women, me being one of them at different points of my life, really going full on spiritual and not really being grounded in 3D. I don't care if you are a 7-figure businesswoman, like some of my clients who are very grounded in money, or if you are just getting started in your blissness. Women make the same mistake, which is that they often will let go of the 3D world when they go spiritual. So I'll have 7-figure clients that they want to change their brand and business and relaunch into something divine feminine based, and they will completely get ungrounded. They'll have like no business brain. Even if they're top businesswomen, they'll just be like, magic. So we want to really have a space to honor the magic, really let your inner child glow and grow and have the love that she needs. Have a space to nourish your twin flame union, have a space to nourish your yoni, have a regular yoni practice, not just those like building the strength of the yoni, but actually having pleasure down there, having your most pleasureful, sensitive space, not have, let's say it, like spider webs growing down there. We want to have her operating in her optimal way. I'm really, really excited. I just spoke to one of my dear friends, Caroline Andrews, who is coming to speak at Aphrodite University for my tribe, and you are so invited. I don't even have a link. Just go to aphroditeuniversity.org and you will be invited if you sign up for our newsletter, and save the date. That is going to happen. Well, let me tell you who Caroline is just really briefly. So she helps women basically introduce themselves to the priestess of pussy down there. She helps women to heal themselves by awakening their, she wouldn't call it pussy power. She calls it yoni. I think she calls it yoni pleasure. So she teaches women to self-pleasure in this really cool way, and this way that helps us release shame. So that's going to be on, I believe, the 14th. Yes, August 14th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And she's going to talk about some ways that you can bring more pleasure into your life. And this will not only help you manifest your man, it's going to ignite the sacred feminine wealth codes of pleasure. The more and more I get to see wealthy women behind the scenes, the more I see that there has been a history of self-abuse. Women who make a lot of money historically, since we've been allowed to make money, which has really not been since the 1960s, 70s, kind of growing onward. And we're the biggest demographic right now, women in business. We are the biggest spenders, women investing in their businesses. And also we are growing our businesses and receiving money. This is an epic time to be on the planet. If you are a divine feminine entrepreneur, this is a very sacred, special time. The divine feminine is rising. And even just women, for women, period, even unconscious women who don't care about spirituality, just want to make that money. This is a very, very unique time on the planet where we are returning these ancient sacred feminine priestess codes of Lemuria and Atlantis, and remembering we live in a hologram. This is a metaphysical world. I mean, we've known this in the East, but the West is now remembering things like reincarnation, metaphysical healing, chakras, energy healing, plant medicine. I mean, the list goes on and on. These are all topics that we teach at Aphrodite University. So if you are a mystic woman, you are probably going through, how do I integrate my mystical self into a world that has been very masculine? How do I get my customers and clients to believe in investing with me, with my woo-woo gifts? And you might be going, how do I find my soul purpose when my soul purpose is going to be something that people judge me for being totally nuts because it's not mainstream. It's not considered real by the standard universities. That's why I was told that I'm going to be launching a university 5 years ago when I started Aphrodite University. It was like very, very clear that what was considered credible out there was not in alignment with the divine feminine principles. Coming from pleasure, honoring the mystical world, honoring the world that is beyond the 3D, that goes into the higher dimensions. So anchoring and grounding your magic cannot happen if we don't commit. And we won't commit. A woman will not commit to her pleasure, to her mystical gifts, to her priestess energy, and to her twin flame union if she is questioning herself. And Satan is standing on her shoulder saying, it's bullshit. You're crazy. You don't have a twin flame. The guy over there that abused you, that's your twin flame. The guy that, he's with his wife and, acting like he might come cheat on you or cheat on her with you. And I hear so many women that on a day-to-day basis, I know who my twin flame is. And it's just so clear to me that it's a very dysfunctional situation. Again, we have this dark energy that has been sitting on our shoulder. And I keep pointing to my right shoulder because it's the masculine side. But it's interesting, the word sinistra, sinister. The left, it's also been attacking our feminine energy. Even the angel on our shoulder saying, pss, 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 be a good girl. Don't be different. Don't do anything if your soul purpose is related to sexuality or plant medicine or to spirituality, unless it's in a very specific Christian way or Jewish way or Muslim way, and you can't make any money off of it. You have to work for some guy at the top that's feeding off of your energy, and it's wrong to profit. It's wrong to be a prophet who makes profits. We have these old paradigm angels and devils, and the reason we have them is because we've been born into a system of slavery that does not align. Look around, people. We have the potential for heaven on earth, but we haven't built it yet. We're living in a system that is not sustainable. It's gasping for air. Gaia is gasping for air. And it's our sole purpose to soothe that and to bring the fresh breath and life. And speaking of breath, our breath is one of the most powerful resources that we can use to heal the planet. So let's take in a couple of deep breaths and just put your feet flat on the ground. Releasing the old systems. If any of this resonates with you, drink it in. Say, I am powerful, and let it go. I'm drinking it in. I am powerful. And releasing. And hello, beautiful beings. I see your hellos, and your highs, everyone. So great to see you here. Missy, Larissa, Gia, Vim, G, Purple, and Karthika. So great. So great that we're coming together in the sacred temple of YouTube. And what I want you to take away from today is the power of commitment to your sacred feminine. When we commit, our sacred feminine will then show us, like a little divine child, the enlightened one, who can hold our hand and take us to our soul purpose. She may not have language at first. She may not say, I know what your soul purpose is. It's this, this, and this, and this. That's why we have a whole 6-module course that goes over 6 weeks in our Blissness School, the MBA program that I teach. It takes 6 weeks to just get your soul purpose clarified into a couple of sentences. Is I help so-and-so to do this thing. And you go through an initiation, walking through, I believe it's 9 caverns of Persephone, going through the rebirth, in a course that I call Ending the Niche Bitch, because so many women go back and forth for years and don't know what their niche is. And if you don't have a niche and you run a blissness, unless you've really started with a niche and grown beyond it, it's very, very hard. It takes a very long time to grow a blissness without a niche. I'm year 5 into my blissness, and I would like to kind of take off the hat of only being the twin flame matchmaker, because I do love helping women with blissy power and blissness and doing all of this stuff with helping women. I mean, some of my clients lose tons of weight just because they release the weight. There's courses on nutrition at Aphrodite University, but I'm not going there yet, because when you run a blissness, it takes a couple of years before you can take your training wheels off, and your training wheels are really that niche that identifies you as you are the problem solver. This is your soul purpose. The problem is it's so easy as spiritual women, especially the priestess in us, just wants to serve everybody, saying, I help everybody feel better. I help everybody be in joy. No one's going to hire you for that. So if you care about survival and money and living in alignment with a very high vibration, a woman who actually gets to travel. You know, some of you know that Jack and I are planning a trip for 4 months to travel the world, and having an orgasmic organic birth with midwives, you know, things like that. These are things that I can now afford that I couldn't afford on my $5,000 income when I was first launching my blissness as a hippie chick, going, I'm going to do it the Divine Feminine way. And I don't want any masculine commitment. I just want to be total bliss. So I did want to speak that and really bring it home that following your soul purpose the feminine way is not going to work unless you marry it with your twin flame, the divine masculine, unless you go into the action mode. And knowing that the feminine and masculine have been making love / at war with each other forever, literally since the beginning of time. And the masculine tries to dominate the feminine tries to swallow up the masculine then tries to leave, and the feminine tries to bring him back. And there's this tug of war that goes on. You and your blissness, you and your soul purpose might have a very dark masculine energy and a very dark feminine energy that can be tricksters together. I know I do. And they can tangle up and be really uncomfortable. So if you are a spiritual woman, again, look out for that place where you might not feel good enough, where your masculine might have his head chopped off, where he might not feel good enough to invest financially in himself. He might live in a fantasy land. Someday I'll have all this money. I don't know how. I don't have a business coach. I haven't invested in getting my system set up. I'm not hiring experts. I'm just going all over, you know, the internet for free stuff, and knowing very well that everybody's going to teach you if you can't invest in yourself, others won't invest in you, especially if you are creating new earth wealth codes. You have to have that trust system that says, yes, I give, therefore I receive. And it's not tit for tat. You know, I've invested in coaches and the money didn't come for time, and I always get the money back. It does always come back, but it's not always like, I need this money to come in this way, because the universe is coming from unconditional love. There's a very feminine energy. And if you don't know this, by the way, the feminine time is nonlinear. It's circular and it's slower. So you may launch your blissness. One of my MBA students graduated and she's now successful. She's leading retreats in Bali. She is coaching women and doing quite well in her blissness. And when she graduated from our MBA program, she had not applied. She had not applied what she was learning. So she went and worked for another company for a little bit longer. She got a new job. It was an exciting up level. She worked in the field of yoga. And so that was really cool for her to work at this cool spa and start teaching and doing workshops, and as well as being a yoga teacher. However, it wasn't until feminine time spiraled back in the cycle that boom, things clicked in for her, and she started to really take off in her blissness. But again, it takes time. That's why we take a whole 6 weeks to help you just scratch the surface. What is it that you are here on the planet for? And then the next level of that, knowing like the spiritual, the feminine, I help women call on their twin flame. That's one of my hats, one of my niches, very sacred one for me, but it's not the only one. So I help single conscious women attract their ultimate life partner. And where am I going with this? That's the more grounded version of it. The bigger vision behind that is I awaken humanity. And my purpose with my beloved is we are here to help Gaia to heal her oceans, her earth, her land, her water, her air. That's ultimately my soul purpose. But the way that I do it, the way that I'm guided to it, is by empowering priestesses like you, women who are here for a great purpose, and oftentimes women who are being corrupted by the money system and the marriage system. And these do go together. They have gone together for a very long time. Women have been bought into a thing called slavery for thousands of years. That was the marriage system. And now the marriage system is finally starting to heal. You know, in the 80s, divorce started to skyrocket around the world, from Italy to America, 50% divorce rate. You could say it's a bad thing. And there was a lot of traumatized children coming out of that. Maybe your parents were divorced. Maybe they didn't even get married. And that broken home syndrome was very toxic for many children. But at the same time, It helped people to break free from the slavery systems in the same way that many of you may come like from myself, if this is making sense to you, is that you, like myself, come from people that have worked really, really hard for money and not gotten paid what they deserved. Maybe they didn't get paid anything. Maybe you come from a lineage of slaves. If you're African American and your family has been in this country for many, many generations, you know that you're holding these codes. But even throughout Europe, we had the slavery systems through serfs and through the king taking all the wealth in the land and keeping very little power and freedom for the average person. So we're all overcoming this. And a lot of us are having to leave our slave masters, leaving our slave jobs, leaving those beautiful golden handcuffs, working in the corporate world or working for things that work. They don't really work for our souls. And I just, for some reason, I just looked over and Renee says, I thought twin flame and life partner are two different people. Well, you know, that's a good point. So many people, their life is out of alignment. Their soul's path is absolutely out of alignment. They are maybe working at a corporate job that brings them no life force energy or very little. It scratches the surface. Maybe they are an incarnate of an ancient healer who has gifts to share with the world. You know, I literally feel like I have a matchmaking gene because most of my friends will align with their twin flame when they hang out with me over time. It's kind of intense to watch. And I was like, holy shit, I think I really do have Aphrodite's touch, this curse that's really beautiful. It was a curse for me when I was single, of course, because I was dating men and they would go off and meet their twin flame and they'd be like, damn it, I thought that was going to be my guy. But the alignment happens really quickly. And so you might be a woman who has an ancient gene / past life memory and skills. And if you're suffering in that office job that's not bringing you fulfillment, you're actually not living a twin flame life. So that's where we get this split. And then so many so-called experts out there will say your twin flame is not your life partner. And what I'm saying is your twin flame should be your life partner. Not necessarily like this, but I believe that we create sustainability when we have the railroad tracks or we have the kundalini that rises up the two sides of the spine, meaning that we intersect with our twin flames energy and then we go out. So for instance, in my blissness, Twin Flames International LLC, I have a partner. That's my twin flame Jack. Not everybody's going to share their business. It's very challenging, to be honest. At times it's so beautiful and orgasmic and amazing. For the most part it is, but we've also gone through our challenges. So your life purpose will support and sustain each other. It'll bring that train forward. However, there will be ways where you really intersect and overlap, and that's kind of awesome because then you can really connect. And then there are ways that you and your twin flame, like he or she will go off and do something else. Like for a while, Jack was really focusing on developing his career skills with digital marketing. So he started working with clients to learn how to grow their businesses so that he could grow our business. And he wanted to really be hands-on. I was like, no, don't leave my blissness, you know, don't leave our you know, our launch systems and, you know, the tech stuff and digital marketing, because like marketing, it's not a bad word. Everybody's like, oh, marketing is just teaching. Like it's just sharing with the world what you do. And those who feel in alignment to say yes to your actual higher level programs, the products you sell, those people will just naturally already be your biggest raving fans and they'll be in alignment. And they'll know, you know, like you all know that I have a deeper level of training in my temple of Aphrodite University. And some of you might be like, I'm so ready. I just, you know, it's not the timing yet financially. Some of you might just be like, no, this is not really, this is not what I need. I just want to be here on this call right now in this moment. I'm so happy to serve everyone. Not everybody is meant to be a twin flame. Not everybody is meant to be your soulmate client. Not everybody's meant to be a friend more than just a moment, and that's fine too. However, I do have a very, very specific soul mission, which is to grow my university, our university, to create a sacred feminine space for women to launch their love lives and their blissnesses from their sacred feminine, their pussy power, their womb wisdom. So Of course, if you're launching your business the old way, or you're working in the old paradigm patriarchal system, your life purpose is not going to be anything exciting. Your life purpose is going to be ho-hum. It's going to be karmic. So therefore, you'll have a life partner who's karmic. Therefore, your twin flame is going to be some far off thing. It's going to be this distorted, unavailable headache, heartache. However, when a woman's coming from her grounded root chakra, from her pleasure, integrating her root chakra, her survival, with her womb wisdom, and connects that and grows the tree of life outwards, her branches, she branches out and she calls in her beloved, who picks the fruit of her tree. It's like, yeah, you're my exact flavor. The problem is most women, they cut their roots off and they jump into some man's aura and say, save me. I don't know how to make money. Who are you kidding? Or I need to make money the corporate woman way. And she'll jump into the lap of some corporate company that's very masculine, that's been raping the earth for thousands of years, or maybe even a good company that's, cool organization. And, there's some gray area. Like, I'm not saying everybody needs to be self-employed. There's some amazing blissnesses out there, some awesome organizations that really deserve to be like praised, that are doing great things for the earth. But a lot of women are not working in those spaces. They're coming from fear and survival. And that old fear and survival is actually a very satanic or sadistic, Saturnian fear-based energy. That Saturnian energy can be based in Capricorn at our root chakra. And if we're coming from fear, we will never align with our twin flame life partner. We will align with a karmic life partner and have a crush on someone we think is a twin flame, and it's usually a false flame. So if we're not in our life purpose, if we're not in soul alignment, if we're not healing our womb wisdom, and we're not coming from love, everything reflects the fear. Relationship, money. And so that's why in our first boot camp tomorrow, if those of you are still available, I'll type in the link tomorrow night. It's going to be 5 o'clock. It is a paid course, but it's the best investment. If you are working on self-love and empowerment and learning how to make money the sacred feminine way, and learning how to discover your soul purpose, is a great foundation. It's a great way to honor and worship yourself and let the universe know, I'm serious about this. Universe, bring me the money for this. So in bootcamp, we're going to be doing really deep self-worth assessment, looking at every area in our life and studying and understanding where we have robbed ourselves. Yes, robbed ourselves of our power, where we have given away our divine feminine energy too much, where we're not showing up with the masculine energy enough, saying, oh my gosh, I can have this, I can create this, I can go after this. Most women are giving up too soon because they haven't been trained to be in their masculine in a way that's healthy and aligned with their feminine. And Casey says, love is the answer, but pure divine love, which many are yet to understand. Yes, absolutely. Human love and divine love aligned. And that's what I believe flame stands for, the feminine love, which is like that really super, you tangible, you feel it, and that divine masculine light that is just unconditional everywhere. So feminine love aligned with masculine energy, FLAME. And the problem is so many people get attached to either the material world, mother matter, or the non-material world, the metaphysical world, the patterns, I call it patrilineal, sometimes the patterns, the divine father, the divine light, and don't know how to align the feminine love and the masculine light at that heart space. And so they'll be all, oh, divine love, divine love. And it's like, what are you actually doing on this planet? Like, you are a very powerful, loving being, but why did you come here into a body? Is it just for the DNA activation? Or do you have something to teach? You have something to share. And do you know that one of the biggest wounds and heaviest places is the system of slavery? And that has shown up for the most part in our broken relationships, dysfunctional relationships, as well as our breakdown of not just twin flames, but tribe and probably one of the biggest pains is people being enslaved in the money systems, where the money systems are very dark. Otherwise, I think we'd be building some really awesome temples. We'd be building light cities that reflect this internal, beautiful world. But so many people it's all love and light. Well, it's all love and light. Close your eyes, but you open your eyes and then Chase Bank is right there building on your corner. And the overpopulation problem, the pollution problem, it's not going away. We've done a lot of prayer. We've done a lot of love and light. Yes, yes, please. Divine love, divine love, divine love, divine light, divine light. But align it here on the planet. So to discover what your soul purpose is, you'll want to really tap into your pleasure. You'll want to take action. And for those of you who have been stuck, who have been really disempowered in calling in your twin flame and calling in your soul purpose, really reach out for the support to get you unstuck. I really recommend that personally. I know when I tried to do it all on my own, I had a blowout. I just couldn't do it anymore. This really horrible thing erupted in my life and I had to ask for help. I was beyond myself. I literally was beyond myself. So I had to reach out for other selves to help me. And I wish I hadn't waited so long. I wish I had gotten the right support that could help me to do what I wanted to do. So that's why I invest in myself. That's why I have, right now I don't have 3 coaches because my coaches just had a baby and they're on break. So, but I'm always working with a coach. I'm always getting guidance from experts and I'm always investing in myself. It's really, really important to get the support that we need. It's like we need to drink water to be in our optimal health, unless you're breatharian. I don't know how that works. I like to drink my water. All right. Well, cheers to you, my sister. We are over time and I'm going to just end with this prayer that may your life purpose bubble up from your sacred chalice, and may the elixir and the aroma stir the senses in your third eye, shining the light so that you can see and open your eye of Horus, Isis, Ra, and all the other faces and facets of the God Goddess, so that you can see with precision your next step and your next step and your next step. And may you walk through fearlessly or annihilate the fears that are there by taking action from love, asking what would love do? Thank you, Anaho. So I look forward to seeing you hopefully tomorrow if you're attending boot camp. It is aphroditeuniversity.org/bootcamp. And this is such a great, I really enjoyed myself. This was such a great time to hang out. And then stay tuned also for the 14th at 5 p.m. Register at aphroditeuniversity.org and sign up for the newsletter, and we'll send you something about Caroline's talk about yoni pleasure and awakening the sacred chalice to the next level. All right. Love and light, everyone. You are worth it. Don't let the fear stop you. Let's create these new codes and systems and get out there launching our soul purposes and creating a new earth. Blessings.